Hello folks, Apple announced that the iPhone 11, 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max was released on 20th September. The iPhone 11 is available in 6 colors: black, white, red, purple, green and yellow. The iPhone 11 also featured a new anodized aluminum finish, which Apple says is more durable. There is also Dolby Vision audio. I am Fizihan and let's start the iPhone 11 review. Quick Take is a new video feature that makes it easier to take video by long press on the camera button. Video quality is 4K quality at 60 frames per second, as well as slow motion time lapse and expanded dynamic range. The front-facing camera has been updated to 12 megapixel with wide-angle selfie support when the phone is in landscape. You can also take 4K video at 60 frames per second, as well as slow motion video. The best features in iPhone 11 camera has a wide and ultra-wide lens rather than wide and telephoto like many people had predicted. This feature gives users that ability to adjust the cropping and zooming after the photo is taken. There's also a new night mode that comes on automatically brighten photo in low light and situation and reduce noise. It also has a next generation smart HDR. Let's watch what other mobile expert YouTuber says about iPhone 11.
So here's what the iPhone 11 is. We took last gen's budget iPhone XR with a crappy screen, threw on the ultra-wide field of view lens, and then renamed it into the iPhone 11. And we think that maybe that'll trick you guys. It's actually the first year in which the iPhone is not really an advancement. In order to bump the specs, we took the last gen Bionic A12 chip, started working on it, fixed a few bugs, and then at some point we just said, you know what? We gotta ship this thing, let's rename it to the Bionic A13 chip, and then just ship that out. It's supposed to be a little bit better. I think it's better. And then we did this for the higher end model, the iPhone XS, renamed it into the iPhone 11 Pro, which is actually for anybody. In fact, pros don't even use this stuff. Real pros use DSLRs, as a pro myself. And you know what's interesting about this additional wide angle lens that we've added to all of our phones is it's not even on the front, it's on the back. So the funny thing is when you look at a similar phone like the Pixel 3, they put the wide angle lens on the front so you can do like wide groupie shots with your friends. You don't get to do that with the iPhone 11. Isn't that funny? Now there's a few additional things that actually make our phones better than anybody else's. And the first is we got fonts. We got really cool fonts.
We even have redesigned the camera app. There's a new font in it called SF Camera. It is so pro. You're going to love using it.
Now I know what you're thinking. We've lost our edge. Android's taken over. You can essentially get like a Pixel 3 phone, which has the whole OLED screen, for half price. This is like $500. Our similar model, if we were to match these specs, is $1,000 for the iPhone 11 Pro. And you can even pick up like say a Pixel 3a, also with the OLED screen, for like $400. So how are we going to defeat these guys? Well, it's simple. What really sets the iPhone apart, what really makes it magical, is not the hardware. That's just gonna be garbage. Don't look at that.
Okay, TeachLeads says it's just a garbage, don't look at that. And now, let's see what our other famous YouTuber did comparison between iPhone and other companies' flagship mobiles.
The most requested, thumbs up for that would be appreciated. Of course, we're going to be looking at all aspects of the cameras. We're going to be looking at the front-facing cameras, the rear-facing cameras, all of the different lenses. We're also going to be looking at low light and also look out for the audio icon. Right, now we're at the front-facing cameras on both. What's great is we've got 4K recording on both for the first ever time. So let's test out the stabilization on the front-facing cameras on both here. So just walking, and now let's go ahead and run. What do we think? Okay, now we've switched over onto 1080p just to see if the stabilization is any different at 1080p. So, walking, and let's go ahead and run again. Right, we've switched to the rear-facing cameras now. Of course, lots of light coming in from here. Move around a little bit onto this side. And now let's test out stabilization. So just going to walk for a bit. And when we get onto this path, let's run. Now we do have multiple lenses on both cameras, so we can optically zoom ultra wide. So walking, let's go ahead and run. See what the dynamic range is like. We've just switched to 1080 now to see what the stabilization is going to be like, because you do have super steady mode on the Note 10 Plus when it comes to 1080. So just to show you the difference, 1080 on both. Let's go ahead and run. We can also switch to the ultra wide.
Today we're going to be doing a night mode test on the Pixel 3a and the new iPhone 11 Pro Max. As soon as I heard that the new iPhone 11 has night mode, this is a test that I knew I wanted to do. So whoa, I look cool. I forgot which phone was which. Okay. Okay, let's go somewhere else. We've got a little water fountain here. Let's see what this looks like. This is really not that great of a photo. The Pixel definitely makes everything a lot more colder, whereas the iPhone, I feel like, is a little more of like the natural type of light. I mean, what they were mostly saying is they wanted it to feel like it wasn't taking you out of the element and it was more natural colors, whereas the Pixel looks a little more neon-ish. Although...
Okay, so what you're seeing right now is video footage from quite possibly 3 of the best smartphone cameras you're going to see this year. We've got the Huawei Mate 30 Pro, iPhone 11 Pro, as well as the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And let me know what you think to the audio quality of each of these 3 devices. We're off to a pretty good start, kicking things off with the standard wide-angle cameras. All 3 phones can record 4K video at 60 frames per second. And you can probably tell yourself, in terms of the actual quality, there isn't all that much in it. iPhone has the most natural colours, whilst Huawei and Samsung, they push up the vibrance just that little bit, although this isn't necessarily a disadvantage. What I would say though is that Huawei's dynamic range is not quite as good as the other two. In harsh situations, you'll find that shadows, it doesn't expose them quite as well. We're also going to be scoring these smartphones, one score for every single category, and if you want the full explanation for the scoring system, it's in the description, but long story short, more points equals better. Huawei's Mate 30 Pro has a pretty massive 3 times optical zoom, more than the 2 times of the other 2 flagships, and what this translates to is not just being able to get closer to subjects while keeping things sharp, but also Huawei's lens produces some pretty nice cinematic background blur. Now, also with the Huawei Mate 30 Pro, the company's introduced a brand new ultra-wide camera. They call it the cinema camera because of how it's specialized for taking video. But whilst this is going to come in handy later, in most day-to-day scenarios, you're just more likely to notice the fact that it's less wide than the other 2, as opposed to it actually recording anything in higher quality. Also, the iPhone is the master of consistency here. Between its 3 lenses, the color profile remains pretty much unchanged, whereas on ultra-wide, Huawei and Samsung really punch up the contrast.
So folks, this was the iPhone 11 review, and I show all about the iPhone, and I hope now you make choice about new iPhone 11. Special thanks to all YouTubers which video I have included for help. If you want to see full video of these YouTubers, you can see link in description. If you like my video, then please don't forget to subscribe my channel and press bell icon for next upcoming videos.